There's only one Bob in this series, and his name is Bobby McMahon. That's right, the Leafscast is back.
Holy mackerel, what a shot! It's Austin Matthews! Do you believe that? Pounds it off the roof of the net!
Woo! Welcome back to the Leafscast.
It's
2-0.
We have arrived.
2-0.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with what life is, with what the world, with what the second round is? The Maple Leafs are 2-0 in their series against the Florida Panthers, and the Leafs cast is back. Stephen Douglas joined by Tim and Ryan Allison, as yes, the Leafs have just wrapped up the second game of the series by a score of 4-3. Home ice advantage is the only advantage, as the Leafs are now 2-0 in this series. This is unbelievable. I was silent and smiling in front of my television as that game was wrapping up.
Jeez, you managed to stay silent? How'd you keep all that boiled inside of you?
Because I didn't know what else to say. I just kind of looked up, like arms wide, and just kind of took it in, I guess. This is
like
all
a praising
new.
the Lord moment there, where you were like, "Oh, praise the Lord, the Leafs are winning."
This is a God moment for sure, because the Leafs this is so foreign territory to us. The last time we were in the second round did not go this well, and the Leafs have just taken it to a team that the Leafs were not favored in this series, right? I mean, and we are now 2-0 against that very team. The Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers came into Toronto and walked out of there with 2 L's. And the Leafs are now heading to Toronto with the series lead, a healthy series lead, and anything can happen.
What is wild is that the Florida Panthers are walking out of there with 2 L's, and they're thinking to themselves, how can we contain Max Pacioretty? That's what they're saying, because he's been unleashed, Tim. I fully concede. You win the man off. You win. I don't care that Jake McCabe saved a goal off of the goal line with a stick. Doesn't matter. It's Max Pacioretty's show tonight. He has been dynamite on that second line. We saw him earlier in the season. He was great up there. Got injured. Didn't really get another shot. He's kind of looked slow, especially early in that Ottawa series when he first came in. He looked a little step behind. He looked like a guy who was older and hadn't played in, what was it, like 2 months or however long he was out for. Not anymore. Now this is playoff Patchy, I guess we can call him, because goal a game and laying the boom and setting up goals. Like, what has he not done?
Making an impact is what I predicted he would do, and an impact is what he has done.
Yeah, that was...
No, it's been great. It's been great seeing him step up. But Ryan, the playoffs aren't over yet. There's plenty of room for new heroes to emerge.
Playoffs? I'm talking about wins. That's what I'm talking about. Don't you ask for to win a game. We're only winning games. It's crazy. You know, the Leafs come out of that first round series, and this whole the Leafs winning these close playoff games is so foreign to us, because it's either like we get blown out or we win a close game, and this consistent close wins business is nuts. But where now, I don't know, you have this different kind of confidence where, the Leafs in the game tonight, they start out, we're down 1-0, right? Leafs tie it back up, then we're down 2-1. Then Leafs tie it back up again, then we're up, and it's 3-2 to start the third period. We can get into each one of these goals, but now you know what the plan is. The plan is to sit on that lead until you can't anymore, right? And obviously the Leafs end up having to score one more to close out this game, but that is close games is the business right now, and the Leafs are standing on business. And now I'm all in. We used to be stressed, like, can we get a blowout? Nope, just give me that 1-goal lead, because that's what we need. I'd love it if they could bury one of these empty netters, but man, right? It is funny, and especially because tonight my prediction was 5-3, for the final score, and can't happen to me. But
I think this game reminded me a lot of Game 6, that closeout game against Ottawa in the first round, just in the sense that we're trying to hold on to a lead, we're trying to just close it out, and it's such a small margin of error, and you let them score, you let them get back in it, and then I remember hearing that on the Leafs bench after Ottawa tied it up. They just looked at each other and they said, let's go get it. And the Leafs were just a different team after that. They scored again like right away and just took over the game, and then it was done. And that's what it felt like here when Boston was pushing it on late. They just had all the pressure to start that third period, and we were doing it. We were keeping them out until finally they broke through, scored a goal, and then it felt like the Leafs just said, "Let's go get it," because they go down and just score a goal. It feels like when they want to score a goal, when there's like it's time to win this game, they just find a way and win the game. And tonight it was Mitch Marner. It was Mitch Marner who comes with a big shot from the point. And then after that, like you said, Steven, just lock it down. And we just held the gate for, I think it was 13 minutes after that. Like, is no goals. What was the last Leaf playoff game where we actually held the fort and stopped them from scoring a goal in the last 13 minutes of the game? It's very refreshing. And it does feel different. I know that's a common thing that Leaf fans like throwing around, but being up 2-0 against the Stanley Cup champs in the second round of the playoffs, it feels different.
Yeah, and big shout out for Joseph Wall for tonight. Like, I don't know if Brubay's actually said the words concussion or whether he's just saying, yeah, he's doing okay, he's recovering, but he's not quite there yet. Day to day, Joseph Wall getting the start. We don't know when Stolarz will be back, but Wall had some serious saves in that. I mean, we talk about the Leafs locking down the lead in the last 15 minutes, but Wall had to bail his team out a few times. I mean, Tanev also bailed him out. Jake McCabe bailed him out. Like, it was really a team effort getting there, which is always nice to see. But
which is needed. Like, no team is going to hold the other team to 0 shots. Like, when they're pushing at the end of the game, when they pull their goalie, like, you need your goalie to just make some saves. And we haven't always got that. Like, Samsonov wouldn't always give that. Campbell wouldn't always give that. Frederick Anderson did not always give that.
Ooh.
And we are getting just the big timely saves right now. That toe, when Wall stick out his toe, and just, oh my goodness. It just feels like we're on top of the world right now.
Man, Ryan with the shots on these former goalies. Some of these guys are sitting at home probably listening to the Leafscast right now. And
we're going to see Frederick Anderson in the third round at this point.
Tim, call out an old Leafs goalie.
Viva Leinen. Older. We have Eddie the Eagle. Last time Leafs were in the second round.
The last time the Leafs had won 2 series or held 2-0 leads in 2 series in a row was 1963, by the way. You remember that team, Rye?
Yeah, that was that was
the good
a rough
old days.
One. Lots of fists, fisticuffs. It was a big game.
So who else stood out to you guys in tonight's game? Give me a couple of names, a couple of players. I can start out, I guess, first. I mean, it's William Nylander. I don't know if he's gotten enough praise, especially as of late, because like that first round, we should start with he is currently leading the playoffs in scoring. That's insane. I mean, that's, when we're talking about guys like Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon through his 7 games from round 1, like just some serious, Conn Smythe winner type guys, right? William Nylander is outscoring those players, and I think he maybe hasn't gotten the flowers that he deserved on this pod because it's been a little bit streaky at some points. But really, since that, I think Game 5 of last series when he was a little rough, he's been a menace on the Maple Leafs, and he always finds a way to get those power plays. He's got, or sorry, not power plays, breakaways, but he's burying them, and it makes me think, like, if you're a Florida Panther fan, how terrified you must be every time that happens, because it happens about twice a game, and he scores on one of them every single game, and it happened tonight again. And he might have had like 4 or 5 breakaways in this game, but he's really finding that open ice. He's the man who can kind of weave through, whoever the center is and the defenseman to get the puck out of our end and create an offensive opportunity. And just the chemistry that he's having with Max Pacioretty and with John Tavares right now. Willie is, he's scoring a goal a game, and we're winning by 1 goal every game. So
It
Willie is the
me of
MVP.
David Pastrnak from those Boston years, where it's just every game he's going to score. So you basically start the game out losing 1-0 is basically what it is, and you have to overcome it because you just know he's going to get a goal every single game. And that's what Nylander is right now. Like, Tim and I were watching the game with some buddies tonight. One of them said, right now it's Nylander for the Conn Smythe. which is wild. Like, how many years did we watch William Nylander as an incomplete player? There's no way he was, if the Leafs make it, it's probably going to be Nylander hoisting that Conn Smythe. Right now, it's like, it's not even close. Like, he is just carrying this team, scoring a goal or multiple goals every single game. And you got to think right now, the Florida Panthers, as much as I joke that they're figuring out how to, solve Max Pacioretty, it's Nylander that's got to be on the top of their books right now. He scored more than anyone other than Draisaitl in the regular season. He had a career year, and he's just carried it right through the playoffs. He just looks like he's unlocked another level here. It's amazing. We've waited
he's
so
always
long.
It's so long, and he's been like the teams, like say he was too composed at times, but he just doesn't get rattled, which in the playoffs is key. But I mean, part of that like one of the reasons why you'd say it's so unexpected. You say, well, if the Leafs are going to win 6 games in the playoffs, it's going to be on the back of Austin Matthews leading the way, Mr. Goalman. And Matthews just continues like he's just not there. Like, not to say he's playing poor. Like, I think that top line is like winning all their minutes, and Matthew, I think, another assist tonight. But it's William Nylander who's really like rose to the occasion as far as saying, Leafs need a goal. Who are you putting on the ice? Willie.
That
Get out there.
It really feels like, though, the line matches, the Leafs are winning, at least in this series, all of them really but against that third line. And it's telling when, the Leafs have a lot of like defensive specialist type guys, but even in tonight's game, when you have the final minute of the game and Florida throws their big boys over and the Leafs throw their top line, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and Matthew Nyes out there to protect the lead, because like not only are they an offensive threat, but they're winning that matchup right now. So put them out there. It's really interesting. I don't know, like just settling into this new reality of Austin Matthews in this series and just like what he is. I think he has 2 goals in the playoffs, 2 or 1.
2, yeah.
It's just different. I mean, I don't know if we need to like, we've given it so much airtime to this point, but Willie just, he's the man. Max Domi with a big goal tonight.
Well, I said on the last pod that, like, you're going to get most of your scoring from your big guns, Matthews and Marner, Nylander, whatever. But the rest of it either has to come from your depth, bottom 6, or your defensemen. Up until this point, it hasn't been the bottom 6. They haven't really been contributing, but the defensemen have big time. For, I think, the first game this entire playoffs, our defensemen did not score a goal, so I'm coming through smart there. But it was our depth scoring. Like you said, Steve, it was Pacioretty, it was Domi. Domi has a big goal. I thought that Domi, this whole playoffs, has looked pretty mid, except for he had a big goal in overtime, and he scores a big goal tonight. And guess what? If that's all you do, like, you look pretty invisible for 2 or 3 games, and then in the 4th game you score a goal, that's more than most of the bottom 6 guys from the Maple Leafs are doing at this point. So getting a goal tonight is pretty big for Domi, and like if he can keep up this pace of a goal a series or maybe 2 goals a series, that's not bad. Like, I don't know, that's kind of what we are hoping for him. That wouldn't be my pick for a player, though. If I was to pick my player this game, I'm going to pick a duo, a Batman and Robin, if you will. It's Tanev and McCabe on the back end. Like, I saw both of those guys pull a puck off of our blue line. Like, they are off of the goal line. They are just looking as dialed in as you need a top defensive shutdown pair. Like, they were needed against Ottawa. Like, Ottawa made their pushes, but the Panthers are a different animal, and those guys are just looking like they are not shying away from the task. Things are getting physical. They're boxing out the net. They're keeping things clear. They have smart sticks. They're making the smart plays. This game, they were just all over it. And you just see nothing was happening when those two were on the ice.
Lock it down.
Do you contribute any of this, like, we were so low scoring last series. Now we've scored 5 and 4 goals in 2 games. I said it at the top of the pod. Is Bob not the best Bob in this series right now? Because even though, I mean, like, a couple of nice goals that the Leafs scored tonight. I mean, that Mitch Marner 70-mile-an-hour floater from the D spot, by the way, Rye. I don't care if he's not a defenseman. That's a defense score.
Marner
goal.
was playing defense in that one.
But do you know what I mean? Like, that's just, you don't think that Bob's going to let a goal like that in. And so I don't know. It's just part of it. Like I don't think Wool was perfect tonight, but Bob is also far from perfect tonight, and we're so not used to having like a mortal goalie on the other side. It'll be interesting to see like if Bob. I think if Bob's on his game tonight, the Leafs probably only score 3 of those goals. I guess is what I'm saying. We'll see. Like the Domi goal, nobody's saving that. Willie, nobody's been able to stop Willie all season, but just like, and even in game 1. It hasn't. Not every single one of these goals has been an absolute 10 out of 10 beauty. So we'll see. And even going back to Wool, so obviously like Stolarz is out. He's probably going to be out for a while. We've got Wool in, and I mean you can see the drop off a little bit from what Stolarz was giving us through round 1 in the beginning of game 1. Like Wool wasn't bad, but I don't know. I just think that Stolarz would have had a better performance tonight.
Maybe, but like, what are you going to expect from your goalie, I guess? And so it's like, I don't think you can expect too much more from Wall. I mean, it would be nice to see the Leafs penalty kill lock it down a little more.
Yes.
But Florida, I mean, Florida's elite special team, so it's not an easy thing to ask for, but it's just they make it seem so easy how they control the puck. Like there were a few sequences where they were just beating us to every single loose puck and making it look easy. Like you can't make it look easy for them. You got to make them work.
Well, and some of those goals against tonight, I don't even totally blame Wool on. Some of it was like just Riley and Carlo letting a guy get behind him, Benoit and Ekman Larsson letting a guy get behind him, and that was two of their 3 tonight. And then, there was that power play goal. So it's not like they were, I don't know, egregious goals. I miss Stolarz, I guess.
We miss the guy. But at the same time, like the Leafs are relatively well prepared for the absence of Stolarz. So you look at Florida, if Bobrovsky goes down, I couldn't even tell you who their backup is. Like,
Vanacek.
Who cares who it is? Don't even say his name. Because like there's a lot of teams out there that just like have their guy and they put all their eggs in that basket, and like, rightfully so. Like Bobrovsky's a phenomenal goaltender, probably a Hall of Fame goaltender. But if he goes down, then like, what are you gonna do? And it's not like the Leafs planned to have, Stolarz cross-checked in the neck and go to the hospital on a stretcher.
It's an elbow, Ryan.
But we are well prepared for. We played all season as a tandem.
Yeah.
Stolarz got injured in the season and missed 2 months. He was out for 8 weeks, and Wall came in and played amazing in that absence. So, like, we're ready for it. Joseph Wall's ready for it. He got the W tonight. He was the better of the 2 goaltenders, I would say. And that's all you need to be. So I have no quarrels with Joseph Wall. I do agree that our D, like, namely the ones you mentioned, like, not Tanev and McCabe, but our other D, a little loose on rubbing guys out on the boards. Like we gotta, like, you can't let them walk past you. Like they come anywhere near you and you're sitting them down, you are laying the boom, and we didn't do that very much tonight. So I'd like to see that cleaned up. The power play was brutal to start the game though. Like right off the hop we get 2 early power plays and we are just completely useless on them, just not even remotely dangerous. And then Florida gets a power play and takes them about like 4.5 seconds to get a shot in net, and it goes in. And I was real worried when that happened, because it just felt like, we know how mentally fragile the Leafs can be sometimes. And that was 7 straight power plays in a row that we have not scored on the Florida Panthers at that point. So it was starting to get a little in our heads. I guess we got a power play goal later. I think there was a second unit.
Pacioretty.
That one though, yeah, it's Pacioretty. So I still want to see the power play look more dangerous. Like just get the puck and shoot. But Florida is, man, they are aggressive on the penalty kill. Like they are just all over you, not giving you a second to think, which you'd think should open up some passing lanes. But we just don't have a second to think out there. I don't know what the answer is other than just be better. But be better is, I guess, what I'm saying.
Well, I wonder too, like, are we looking at, because you end up with the 2 power play opportunities so early in the game, and like I'm just so not used to the Leafs getting any of these looks in the playoffs. But gosh, Florida is earning these penalties that they're taking.
Yes, they are.
And so it's like a flaw in their game, right? Like they're dirty players, but they're also loose and knuckleheads. And I think we can expect there's going to be more of these penalties in games going forward. And so they need to.
Well, especially if we don't capitalize on the power plays. Like, if we're botching every opportunity we get, then they're just going to go keep slew-footing our guys. Like,
Yeah.
what's the harm? If anything, they're going to go down there and get a shorthanded chance. So we definitely got to clean that up.
Were you guys surprised at the lack of response to the Sam Bennett situation after game one? Obviously, he comes out there, elbow to the head, injures our goalie. Stolars is out, and it seemed a little mixed.
They know it's George Peros. They know, like, if they look at the Florida the wrong way, they're gonna get some mystery suspension. Nazem Kadri's gonna get suspended just for fun. Like the Department of Player Safety is such a joke now. It's like, I don't even care that, was it a borderline thing? The fact that Bennett has gone out and, like, injured players in every single game that he plays, shows that you care about your stars, the guys that make your money. It's not these scrubs. Anyways,
Tim takes the question and immediately goes off against George Peros.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So. Well, I agree with you. I was getting more at the players, like how the game went tonight.
I was
happened.
not surprised at the lack of that. It's not they're going to go headhunting Bennett, because that's what all the messaging was before the game. That's what Berube was saying. That's all the players were saying. They're saying, like, no, we just got to go and win a hockey game. And I think that's probably the right call. Like, I mean, if you see Bennett in the corner, you can go and give him a good firm body check and let him know that you're there. But I don't know. I
it
think
didn't happen in the game.
But would you not, like, Domi goes out, picks off, Bennett or anyone else from their team, takes a 2-minute penalty and they score. Like, they scored 4 seconds into their first power play of the game. So, like, it's not worth it. This is the best team in the league that we're playing against. It's the Stanley Cup champions. You can't take the risk and go seeking retribution. You want retribution? Put those guys on the golf course on Sunday with a sweep. Like, that's retribution. Don't go that. If you go headhunting Sam Bennett or Brad Marchand, that is exactly what Sam Bennett and Brad Marchand want you to do. Like, they are winning. They're winning their goal if you do that to them. And I know that it would feel great to us fans to see Scott Laughton go and just obliterate any of these guys, or Domi or Pacioretty, or like whatever, any of our supposed playoff tough guys. But you know what's better? Pacioretty scoring a goal and Domi scoring a goal, and those guys running home with their tails between their legs, wondering how they're going to come back from this 2-0 hole they find themselves in. Like, that is so much sweeter than any sort of physical retribution we could have got tonight.
I just think, they could have gone about it two ways, because like the Leafs, Berube came out saying, like, we're on business tonight and that's what we're doing. We're going to win the game. And you think about, like, if with the results of tonight, I have to assume that in Game 3, Florida is going to be a little bit less leaky when it comes to their decision making and taking these penalties, right? Because it's been a factor in the game. Even if it's situations where the Leafs power play doesn't always score, it's 2 minutes that your team isn't in the best position to score. But you could have got that same result of them not going after your guys, I think, if you fed him his teeth tonight. I am concerned still, because I think that there's a game within the game of hockey, and fighting is there for a reason. And because you mentioned it with Tkachuk slew-footing Marner at the end of the last game, and it's stuff like that like, I get it that we lost Stolars and, like, we won the game tonight, and I suppose, like, everything feels okay right now. But what if next game somebody comes out there and concusses William Nylander? Do you feel the same way? That, like, we'll just stand on business and go win the next game. Somebody's got to do something about this. We didn't have an egregious situation tonight, but, like, I was just kind of surprised that literally the entire game nobody did anything, because
here's the thing. These guys are a bunch of cavemen on that team. It doesn't matter what you do today. They're going to play just as hard and injure all your players next game at all. Like, I have zero respect for the Florida Panthers, zero respect for Paul Maurice, who endorses this goonery. The only thing they can do is get out of the series as fast as possible and just, like, see who you lose.
But you
only
have to look as recently as the series between Florida and Tampa Bay Lightning, where Hagel lays some huge hits, like arguably dirty hits, and Florida decides, you know what, we're not going to be, like, they're going to hit us back, so we're not going to go and play dirty now. Like, Ekblad literally goes and takes Hagel out with a huge hit and suspends himself for the series. Like, what you're describing is just like escalating the process to where we're gonna start hitting them back, and then they're just gonna come back and hit us harder, and that's probably gonna lean more into their game than it is into ours. So I'm with Tim. Let's just get out of here in 4 games and go on to face an actual gentlemanly team like the Washington Capitals and Tom Wilson.
Tom Wilson?
So-
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about, Rye? Gentlemanly hockey is played in maybe the Swiss League. I'm not sure.
I do agree with Tim. I have absolute zero respect for Florida Panthers. To me, they're already worse than anything Boston ever was. Just total scumbags, total dirty, intent to injure multiple times. I don't understand how half their team isn't suspended on any
they're
given
even
night.
worse because they
It's
have Brad
crazy.
Marchand.
But
Don't make me say his name again.
It's
That's why.
crazy how it's like in their culture. It feels like, right?
Yes.
Like, you're like, what's the identity of this team? They're hardworking, or they're skilled, or it's speed. And Florida, it feels like it's just convicts.
We're dirty.
Yeah,
Their identity is being down 2-0 in the series, so screw them.
Baby, this is so amazing. I can't believe what's going. I believe that it happened and that it could, but just I don't know that this is my life. I guess this hasn't happened, guys.
Enjoy it.
Wow. Okay.
Game 3, we can go up 3-0.
Yeah, so
3-0.
Leafs are getting on a plane, on a bird. Do they still say that? They're going to Florida. I don't know if Ryan could pick out Florida on a map of the United States, but that's where they're going. We've
Somewhere
got
at the bottom. 2
games in Florida, Friday night, Sunday night. So we get a night off, Wool back in net, and will be interesting. We'll see, right? Obviously, Leafs, losing that home ice advantage. Florida, I don't know. You just have to assume they'll play a little better on home ice. How do the Leafs respond? I mean, we've had 2 one-goal game wins in a row. Have to assume the next ones are going to be tight. But I don't know. Maybe Bob will continue to be loose. Willie gets a couple of goals in. The boys enjoy. I mean, I don't know what the weather's like in Ontario right now, but I know it's always nice in Florida. When you get Matthews out there, a little tan. Maybe he scores a goal. Come on.
All right.
I might get on a bird myself.
The work's not done.
No, job's not done. Okay, that's it. We're signing off. The Leafscast is wrapping up. Enjoy your Thursday. The Leafs are champions, victors of Game 2 at least. Have a good night. Like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Call your grandma. Goodbye.